but after a while, I never practiced, and I just kind of came up with my own thoughts, and I don't really,
So what criteria you used?
So, for example, I said this to them the other night.
Yeah.
I said, how could there be a God if there's little kids getting cancer? If there's all these atrocities going on in the world. How could there possibly, like, what's a 3-year-old, for example, imagine a 3-4-year-old little kid. What could they have done to have deserved to have passed away so early?
Okay, so your argument is not a rational argument, it's an emotional argument. Because your argument is like when someone sees a man hitting a baby that is a few hours just born, hitting him at the back. Do you know what they do that for?
No.
Because
the burp.
Because he has to cry to make sure the blood is circulating. Okay? If you don't know that, you're gonna think, what the hell this guy's doing to the baby is an evil man, because what you can see, a man holding a baby and hitting him. You see? But after, when you understand the wisdom behind of that, even though the baby is crying, but that is the most beloved thing to the father, to see his baby crying. Okay? Sometimes my point here, that the emotional arguments you are utilizing is not an objective. It's not an objective, meaning that okay, for example, I will come to deal with the issue of children having a cancer and that, because your argument is based upon not understanding what was the wisdom of Allah creating this creation. That's why many people, they will misjudge Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's action because they haven't understood why Allah created this creation.
Well, what's the creation? Is it the cancer or is it...
No, everything, okay? Now, so you want a place when there's only good, correct?
Yes.
Okay, there is a place like that. Do you know where?
So we have it.
Paradise, yes. And there is a place when there's only pure evil.
Oh, so that's hell.
The hellfire, okay? Yes. So God's power is showing us that if you really care about goodness, then I'm going to create you in a place where there's good and evil. Okay? Evil from our own perspective.
Yes.
Okay? So now it's up, if you really care about good and you don't want to see evil, then in this life I'm going to test you to see if you are a true believer, if you are a truthful person and sincere, that you want to place in good. But when Allah creates life, it's a test. That's what Allah said in Surah Al-Furqan. He said that He will test us. أَفَتَصْبِرُونَ? Would you be patient upon Allah's test? Because remember, paradise, which is the eternal life, the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ have described it. He said it's the most expensive product. Do you call me akhi? Are you, yeah? Sorry, yeah? The most expensive product. So for us, you know, sometimes, even me, I'm a Muslim, but yes, I see, when you see a child, is disabled, it's a cancer, you're going to feel sympathy. But when I understand the reward of being patient upon that, is a paradise which the eyes never seen, the heart never thought of, and the ears never heard, I say, you know what? You're not going to get that place for some joke thing. It has to be a serious thing. So my point here is, let's go back to the point here. Or if there is a cancer, there is that. That does not negate the existence of God. Rather, that proves the existence of God. Sorry.
No, my thing is, I'm not using as in to negate the existence of God. I'm like, how could this God be something that everyone worships and loves?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because what's a 3-year-old little kid possibly have done in life
to deserve
that? And if, let's say, God forbid, he passes away, you're being deprived of your whole life.
No,
yes,
he's going to paradise.
Yes, he's going to paradise, but
he'll be laughing at you in a way.
let him laugh at me.
Yeah, see, so he does. And I'm not saying that. I'm not saying disrespectful, but he'll be laughing thinking this guy is caring about me, but I'm in paradise.
But he's missing out on all that life has to offer.
But this life is full of stress and depression. Would you like him?
For those 3 years.
No, even for future. There's many people in your age that are depressed and stressed. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala saved him through that. Also, it's a test, brother. What I'm saying to you, look, you cannot say, okay, who should know who deserve what and what deserve what? Who should say that?
I think no one. I mean,
but you're just saying that person, why he should not deserve the cancer.
You lost. So who should deserve?
Who should determine who deserve what and who deserve what not?
Well, no one can, because life is unfair. That's just how it is.
So now,
some people are born into wealth, some people are born into poverty. There's no like.
So you're contradicting yourself then. Because you tell me he doesn't deserve it, but I'm now asking you who should determine who deserve what and who deserve what not. You tell me no one. So why the one who deserve, okay, Because what is deserving? Deserving doesn't mean all the time you're evil. When Allah tests us, Allah mentioned that in the Quran. Have you read the Quran? That's the problem. The problem with some Muslims, they haven't read the Quran, and the questions that you have is being answered in the Quran.
I can't consider myself a Muslim because I don't know. It's wrong of me to consider myself a Muslim when there's other people that practice and know the Quran. I don't know. I don't know anything.
Yeah, but
I just don't eat ham.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You saw us again?
I just don't eat pork. You know what I mean? Like I can't call myself a Muslim for that.
Some Muslims, yeah, they will still.
I don't want to. I can't be like that. You can't just being a fake Muslim.
No, it's not.
It'd be wrong of me to say that.
We'll come to that.
Disrespectful to all the people that practice.
No problem. We'll come to that as well, yeah. But some Muslims, yeah. So we say 1 second, yeah. So they still, and they do everything by says, I will not eat pork.
Yeah.
No, it's just a side point to mention. That doesn't mean he's a hypocrite. What it means doesn't mean because I'm making 2 wrong, I should make a 3rd wrong.
Yeah.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
Doesn't mean because I'm robbing people, therefore I say, I'm not just robbing people, I'm not just go kill someone then. No, it doesn't work like that. You understand? What I have tried to do, try to stop myself from robbing people. I try to stop myself doing something else, okay? So my point here is because I've experienced when you meet some Muslims, they say, I was a Muslim, I left Islam. When I do investigation with them, they were not Muslims to begin with, or they were Muslims, but they haven't studied the Quran. So when we understand what was the wisdom behind Allah created creation, we understand there's a reason for Allah to test this person's parents. Because the child has a cancer, yes. That child is a test for the parents. Allah will test us through, Allah mentioned in the Quran clearly, Allah will test us through our families, through our wealth, through our health. So Allah mentioned that. Why? For if you be patient upon that, there's a reward. Because every person will say to his friend, I will do anything for you. Because he's in a time of ease. When he's in a time of hardship, how many friends you will find?
I can think of
A few, but not all of them.
Yeah, not all.
My point here is that many people, they'll be grateful to Allah in a time of ease, but are you truly grateful to the Creator who gave you your own life, your own existence is by His virtue, the energy, the oxygen that you're getting by His virtue? Are you going to be grateful to Him just because of that, or you are true grateful to the Creator through the hardship? That's when Allah tests people. That's what Allah said in the Quran. وَمِنَ النَّاسِ مَنْ يَعْبُدُ اللَّهَ عَلَى حَرْفٍ. Some people, they worship Allah on the edge. When something good happens to him, say, oh, Islam is beautiful. When something bad happens to him, he turns away from it. Allah said, خَسِرَ الدُّنْيَا وَالْآخِرَةِ. He has lost this life and the hereafter. أَلَا ذَلِكَ هُوَ الْخُسْرَانُ الْمُبِينُ. Indeed, this is the great loss. When a person turns away from his Creator because he put him through a test, that's it. You understand? So what is happening because of cancer, all of this is emotional ways. Some people try to reject God, which cannot be an objective criteria to do so. Doesn't mean because we don't understand what is the wisdom behind it, therefore there is no wisdom behind it. Let me give you an example of that to understand my point here, okay? Imagine I have a daughter, she's 3 years old, and the doctor gave me an injection to inject her with because she has type of disease. My daughter, she's going to look at me as what? As an evil man. I'm holding what? A needle.
Well, if you tell her that it's good for her, and if needles like a mental thing. You can tell her it won't hurt.
But she will cry and she'll say, no, I don't want it. I don't know if you have children because I have children. I have 3 of them, so I know how it is. When people have children, they know. You will tell her. We were children. My father used to tell me, don't worry. I said, no, man, I'm not. You hurt me last time. I'm not trusting you. But your father will say, no, my son or my daughter, the capacity of your mind is limited, therefore cannot be a criteria to judge my action.
Okay, yeah.
Is that a good point? Do you agree with that? Makes sense, okay. Therefore, even though I'm holding a needle, even though it's going to hurt her, even though it's going to make her cry, even though it's going to make her suffer a lot, but is that good for her? Is it good for her?
Yeah.
Are you a bad person for doing that?
No.
From her angle, that's bad. But from your angle, it's good. Likewise, when the Creator creates things, from His perspective, it's good. From our perspective, it's bad. But that does not negate Allah is the all-wise. What only negates that our capacity our mind capacity is limited. Does it make sense? Yeah. Alhamdulillah. And that's how it is. Alhamdulillah. Look, brother, yeah, Islam is not like Christianity. It's not like Judaism, Hinduism, Buddhism, Sikhism, every ism, you name it. When you look at Islam, Allah always mentioned to us, because I believe the best intellectual argument is in the Quran. You know, the best way of proving Allah is in the Quran. Allah said, أم خلقوا من غير شيء أم هم الخالقون أم خلقوا السماوات والأرض بل لا يوقنون. Were they created by nothing? Or did they create themselves? Or create the heavens and the earth? Look how Allah finished this verse. Surely they have no firm belief. You speak to the top scientists. For example, Richard Dawkins, where he says, we don't know, perhaps there's more to universe, just guesswork. You see? They have no firm belief. So the verse, let me translate for you, Taimur, yeah? Taimur Khan, you know Taimur?
Yes.
Tam, you know, Tatar, brother.
No.
Yeah, Taimur is from the Tatar.
Okay.
Yeah, Taimur. So the verse, would they create by nothing? Even nothing is not even a thing, let alone to create something else. Okay? Or do they create themselves? That's the question you ask yourself. Did I create myself? One of the great scholars called Ibn Uthaymeen, may Allah have mercy upon him, said, he said, it is illogical to create yourself because there will be a paradox. Why? Because if I already exist, there's no need to create myself. Shamsi already exists.
Well, I don't think we created ourselves, we developed.
Yeah, but if you know how you developed.
I don't know, you can't really answer that.
That's why you made it. So you cannot make claim without proofs.
Well, how did we develop? We came up from the ocean. We came up as fish.
How do you know we were fish?
We got these little webs in our fingers. You don't know about that.
Yeah, but that's you talk about Darwin evolution?
Yeah, through evolution. Eventually we were monkeys.
Okay, let us go back to the origin. What was the first thing then?
I have no idea. No, I mean, you guys believe in that in the Quran it came from that.
From what?
Well, it came from the Quran. Like it says in the Quran. I don't know what it says in the Quran, but you guys believe that it says something in the Quran that that's how the universe was created, right?
How what?
Well, how did the
universe... No, we'll come to that first. Let me deal with the first thing. So would they create by nothing? Because if we exist, therefore we don't have to create ourselves. Yeah. If we are not existent, we need what?
Something to create us.
Something to create us. So even for the sake of argument, Darwin evolution is not scientifically proven, because we go to scientific method, what is scientific method, and let us try to apply on Darwin evolution. Darwin evolution is the biggest and the greatest hallucination in the history. But it's been pushed by the media and by Oxford universities has been established to push specific agenda, and I will demonstrate that to you, inshallah. But let's go back, for the sake of argument, let's go back to the first thing, what brought into existence. That's what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is mentioning. They have no firm belief, they're just guesswork. So you need the creator. And to give you a simple example, a phone, I always mention the example of the phone. Okay. What is the phone is made from? Plastic, glass, so on. So if we have a different plastics, different glasses, different particles, and give it 5 billion years, would that develop to become an iPhone, organized? You see. So which one is more complicated? Our eyes, our body, or the phone?
Probably our
body. So Allah said, وَفِي أَنفُسِكُمْ أَفَلَا تُبْصِرُونَ. With Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَفِي الْأَرْضِ آيَاتٌ لِلْمُوقِنِينَ وَفِي أَنفُسِكُمْ أَفَلَا تُبْصِرُونَ. Upon the earth there is a signs for Allah's existence, and within yourself, don't you not reflect? You have a nose next to your mouth. Why? Before you eat, smell food. You have eyebrows above your eyes. Why? Because the sweat contains the salt. If it keeps going to your eye, you have a joint in your elbows. Why? For you to move and back. You understand? Look at, you have eyes in the front, not at the back, because you walk forward, not backward. So when you look at this creation, which Allah, that's why Allah always utilize this argument for us to reflect upon it, bro. Reflect upon your creation, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said. Another verse, Allah said, هل أتى على الإنسان حين من الدهر لم يكن شيئا مذكورا إنا خلقنا الإنسان من نطفة أمشاج نبتليه فجعلناه سميعا بصيرا. Allah mentioned the meaning of the verse. Doesn't mankind think there was upon a time they're not even a word of mentioning? Now they have hearing and seeing. And we're created from what? From a sperm. Imagine we never see someone being created. Imagine, let me give you this example for you to understand. And we saw a sperm. I said, bro, you know, from this sperm, a human come. You tell me you're a crazy guy. You tell me you're mental. But Allah create us from that. You see, show you His power. That's why I advise. Allah تبوخ علينا يا حبيبي. تبوخ على ولكن بوختني. بارك الله فيك لكن بوختني يا أخي. جزاك الله خير. والله أنا تسخين يضمني يا أخي والله. شكرا بارك الله فيك. Just about smoking, man. You know, because I'm a boxer, you know, so I have to take out. I'm not a boxer, by the way. Like, I'm just scaring people. Anyway, bro. So what I'm saying, bro, when you reflect upon Allah's creation, the upper and the lower, then you can see. However, some people, they don't want to believe in God because they know what is the outcome of believing God. So, of course, we're going to come to Darwinian evolution. Is Darwinian evolution scientifically proven? No. Because what is the scientific method? Scientific method is what? Collection of data based upon observation through experimentation. Then you come to a conclusion. That's why when Richard Dawkins was cornered with the question, how come we haven't not seen? I'm not talking about this, you get a long finger, you know what I'm saying? This is not Darwin evolution. So how come we haven't not seen one species evolve into completely different species? Richard Dawkins said because of a time, we need a longer time. So are you telling me there is no species that's been existing here for 5 million years as they claim, because even that I doubt it, because it's just assumptions, 5 million years, and there's a time for it to evolve completely different thing. Rather what we see, brother, order. Woman giving a birth to human being, not to chicken. Because if it's random, bro, because we have to be realistic. What the atheists do, I'm not talking about any atheists, the militant atheists, they use big words. Big words can confuse people. They say, selective selection, the term, the selection of, that's the word, man.
Nature.
No, the natural selection and so on. Bro, and random, they say random is what? Okay, you know what is random? Imagine everyone standing here and I have a stick and I keep coming to you and hitting you. Doing it over and over and over again. I said, you know, brother, don't blame me, it's random. You tell me, no, you're lying. Because what they say, the repetition to repeat something over and over again, and you keep doing it the same way, it means you're doing it on purpose. And there's an order you are following. So if everything is random, meaning random, let us be honest with ourselves. That's why Richard Dawkins and all of that, they don't like someone to speak to them in a simple language to pin them down. What is random? Random, anything can happen. Random, my mother can give a birth to chicken. My father can somehow, God comes from him. Because everything is random. Is that correct? But what we see? Order. Designed. And designed and order need a designer. It's a logical, rational argument. Make sense? Yeah. Alhamdulillah. Well, I advise you, bro, look. Read the Quran. Read why Islam is the truth. And let me give you one thing that I always mention, yeah? One of the proof that Prophet Muhammad is a messenger of Allah, his Sharia legislation, okay? Listen to this, yeah? Now the world is going, you know, especially Western world. The Western world, the example I've been living here for 20 years now, yeah? What I have observed, the Western world is like a man that has been broken from every part of his body. And he has a burn in his face, everything. So what he does, he wears nice suits, he has a nice mask, nice shade, nice hat. People who doesn't know about him, they look at him from outside, amazed, look at him. That's how is the Western world. Western world are bleeding from within. Rape, murder, all of that. Do you know why? For example, Islam came to preserve 5 things. Listen carefully today, yeah? Islam came to preserve 5 things. Islam came to preserve religion. What does it mean? Islam warns severely against worshipping other than the Creator who created the heavens and the earth. That's why paganism, polytheism is forbidden in Islam. Okay? Islam came to protect the brain, the intellect of people. Okay, why? Alcohol and drugs is forbidden in Islam. Okay? Islam came to preserve people's wealth, interest, and usury is forbidden in Islam. Islam came to preserve people's lineage. That's why adultery and fornication is forbidden in Islam. Islam came to preserve people's honor. That's why defaming people online or defaming people, regardless, Muslim or non-Muslim, is a major sin in Islam. It's forbidden. Now let me go to the other side. Alcohol. In every society, alcohol is allowed. Is alcohol good for people or bad for people? Bad. Bad. Alcohol is bad for people individually and collectively. Okay. Gambling, is it good for people or bad for people? Bad. Gambling cause people to do what? Even steal from their own families, just to go and gamble. So it's bad collectively and individually, collectively. Now interest, is it good or bad? Interest, how it depends. So if I utilize my wealth to make you more poorer and make myself more richer, is that good?
No.
That's why it's interest. Interest, what I'm doing, I know you are in need of money, so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna borrow you money. Then I say, if you wanna give it to me back, you give me extra money. That's why the interest make rich richer and the poor poorer. 2009, how old are you, by the way?
I'm 23.
Okay, 2009, do you know what 2009?
Yeah, housing crisis.
That's it. What was the reason of it? Because of interest.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's bad for people individually, collectively. Okay, and now fornication, is it good or bad?
Bad.
It's bad collectively. Okay, so why all of these are allowed in societies which call them more civilized societies when we know it's bad for us? Who comes against it? Islam. That's why. Let me give an example. Imagine I live in a city and I have companies of interest, banks. I have companies of gambling. I have companies of alcohol. I have companies, or what do you call them? Industry, like we call them companies of prostitution and so on. And I'm making money from people. Even though I know what I'm doing, I'm causing suffering. I'm making money from the suffering of the people. And you come along to my city now, and you're a Muslim, and you're calling people to Islam. How I'm gonna look at you?
Probably negative.
Very negative. I think, you know what, this guy's my enemy.
He's taking my money.
That's my money. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna utilize my money that I have to make you look bad. And this is what's happening in our time. Majority of people who hate Islam are two, either ignorant or people in power, generally speaking. So those in power are making money from the suffering of the people. That's why they are utilizing their money to make Islam look bad. How? Through media. Even though you just agree with me, whatever Islam has legislated is good for people. So Islam is good for mankind. Doesn't mean it's perfect because we're human beings, you know? So tell me, please, how we have these politicians and experts that are studied in the best universities in the world, but they cannot bring solutions to the world. But we have a man that existed 1,400 years ago, came from a cave, where the legislation is best for mankind. Bro, so this man must be something special about him, which is he received the revelation from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's why no man can bring what Prophet Muhammad brought. The legislation in family. Islam pay attention greatly to the ties, the connection between the families. You see, but there is a bigger campaign against destroying families. That's why Christianity is dying, bro. Or is dead. Judaism is a tribalism religion. Hinduism is a philosophical ways. That's why there is a huge war against Islam. But even though there is a huge war against Islam, the fastest growing religion on the face of the earth is Islam. Even though the Muslims are weak. So who's doing the job? Do you know who's doing the job? Allah. And do you know that Allah mentioned that 1,400 years ago? Allah said, هو الذي أرسل رسوله بالهدى ودين الحق ليظهره على الدين كله وكفى بالله شهيدا. It is Allah who sent His Prophet with the truth and guidance in order for Islam to prevail other religions, and sufficient for Allah to be the witness. In another verse is, and even if the disbelievers dislike it. And like I said, there is a huge war against Islam worldwide. In Australia, it's so crazy. It's worse than Britain. Australia, day and night against Islam, negative, negative. In America and so on. But yet, many Australians, many French, many Germans, many British, accepting Islam without us using a fork or a spoon or a knife. Why? Because Allah mentioned this religion will prevail. And alhamdulillah, you can see that. Make sense? Yeah. Alhamdulillah. Wallahi, look, brother, you're born in a Muslim, you're born in a Muslim family, but this is that, I have mentioned that before. So our parents, may Allah forgive them all, they have Islam, which is a culture Islam. Culture Islam. You're Muslim, stop, that's it, enough. You don't have to, you know, may Allah forgive our parents. But I always mention this. In our time, the Muslim should learn why Islam is the truth. You cannot claim to be a Muslim and you don't know why Islam is the truth, because Islam is being challenged worldwide. So we have to know. And alhamdulillah, I can stand here by Allah's permission alone. I can prove Islam logically, rationally, tangibly. Islam is the truth. Alhamdulillah. You see? And that's what distinguishes Islam from any religion. Islam doesn't say, believe in God. Where is the proof? Jesus is going to die for your sins, brother, don't worry. That's not proof. Jesus loves you. That's not proof. Prophet Muhammad loves you. That's not proof. I cannot tell you believe Islam is the truth, because one day I was in my house and I had a dream. Prophet Muhammad came to me, so believe Islam is the truth. No, Allah doesn't say that in the Quran. Allah gives you universal proofs why Islam is the truth. Do you know what those called universal proofs? Our universal knowledge. You know what is our universal knowledge? It's our observation, our senses. That's how we know something. For example, you know that you're speaking to Shamsi, because you can see me clearly, correct? One of the ways to attain certain knowledge about something, our observation. Likewise, our senses. For me to know the fire is hot, if I touch it, now I know it's hot. So I gain the knowledge. Likewise, our intellectual ways to know something, what they call it, is true. For example, I know if something did not exist and came to existence, someone must bring into existence. And it's something which is born with us. The proof for that, not the proof, because it is called self-evidence. The example of that as Ibn Taymiyyah, one of the great scholars, mentioned, may Allah have mercy upon him. He said, if you have a child, 5 months, and you hit the child at the back of his head, the child naturally starts looking who did it. But who said someone did it? Because he knows if something was not there and it comes to existence, something caused it. Okay? So he knows, even a dog, if you throw a stone at the dog starts looking for the stones. He's not going to start chasing the stone. Yeah. So that's one of the... also our fitra, natural inclination. Naturally we know. I don't have to go to school to know that I should not get married to my own mother. Naturally I know that. All of this proves that Allah has created us with, because how we got this? If we have it from children, someone has to give it to us. Okay? Allah utilized that. In the Quran, Allah utilized proofs that is based upon intellect. Allah utilized proof that is based upon the fitrah. Allah utilized proof based upon observation. Allah said in the Quran, إِنَّ فِي خَلْقِ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ وَاخْتِلَافِ اللَّيْلِ وَالنَّهَارِ لَآيَاتٍ لِأُولِي الْأَلْبَابِ الَّذِينَ يَذْكُرُونَ اللَّهَ قِيَامًا وَقُعُودًا وَعَلَى جُنُوبِهِمْ وَيَتَفَكَّرُونَ فِي خَلْقِ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ رَبَّنَا مَا خَلَقْتَ هَذَا بَاطِلًا سُبْحَانَكَ فَقِنَا عَذَابَ النَّارِ. Allah said in the Quran, with the alteration of a day and night and the creations of the heavens and the earth, it is a sign for who? For people of understanding, for people with sound reasoning, those who remember Allah all the times. Yeah, the meaning of the verse. And they say, oh Allah, you have not created this creation without any purpose. You see, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, another verse mentioned, he said, أفحسبتم أنما خلقناكم عبثا وأنكم إلينا لا ترجعون فتعالى الله الملك الحق. Allah said, do you think that we have created without any purpose? And to us, you will not return. Far away, Allah, from this imperfection. Because that's imperfection for Allah. People say this creation was created without any purpose. Every part of our body has a purpose. What about as a whole? And the one who knows our purpose, he's the one who made us. That's why our universal knowledge that we have, the Quran and Islam goes in line with it. And to make it clear to you, bro, imagine I make a car. I'm the first person to make a car. Okay? Follow me up, yeah? People come saying, I made it. And everyone gives a menu. And I give you the menu. And you start following people's menus, but the car's not working. But when you follow my menu, it starts working. What does that necessitate?
You're the only one that knows how to do it right.
I'm the maker.
Yeah.
Okay, likewise, when you look to the Quran, it goes in line with your common sense, sound reasoning, with universal knowledge. So therefore, the one who created us with those universal knowledge is the same one who gave us that revelation. That's why it goes together. Make sense?
Yeah.
Alhamdulillah. And I can go on why Prophet Muhammad is a true prophet. For example, look, I'll give you an example of that, yeah? You know when the Prophet Muhammad said the Quran is the word of Allah, he did not just make a claim. Because making a claim, anyone can make a claim, correct? Yeah. I can make a claim. That's the beauty of Quran, that's the beauty of Islam. Islam is not just, it is not about just a claim. Islam substantiates and defends its claim. When Allah said the Quran is the word of Allah, والله said in the Quran in Surah Al-Baqarah, إن كنتم في ريب مما نزلنا على عبدنا فأتوا بسورة من مثله وادعوا شهداءكم من دون الله إن كنتم صادقين فإن لم تفعلوا ولن تفعلوا فاتقوا النار التي وقودها الناس والحجارة أعدت للكافرين. Allah said to the Arab pagans and everyone, if you are in doubt or if you don't believe that this Quran that we gave to Muhammad is from Allah, then bring something like it. And bring witnesses. And if you cannot do it, and you will never be able to do it. Allah did not say you cannot do it. No, Allah is challenging you that you will never be able to do it. Yeah? Then fear the fire. That which Allah created based upon His justice and His power. Fear the fire that it's fuel full of man and stones. So Allah threatened us with this because why? This is a clear proof. Now there's many enemies of Islam for the history, yeah? And all of them try to invalidate the prophethood of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Correct? Okay. Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is coming to them and say, listen, here, try to invalidate it. We know, historically speaking, for 1,400 years, no one that tried to change the Quran except he made a silly of himself. There is an Egyptian guy, he tried to change the Quran. Because what is the meaning here? The eloquence in its speech. Okay, the legislation, the prophecy, and so on. The Quran's eloquence is so perfect. So he tried to change the Quran. He was making grammatical mistakes.